Hey friends, we are going to give our legs a little bit of love. So we're gonna start out on the ground with a little bit more of a passive progression, but then we're gonna take those same moves and stand them up and explore a more active version of the same thing. So you will need a few things to help you for the class. So first is a yoga strap. If you don't have a specific yoga strap, you can use a belt. You can use a scarf as long as it's not elastic. Okay. And then since we're going to be spending the first part of the class on the ground, it might feel helpful to have a blanket or a cushion to put your head on if that feels more comfortable to you. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna lie down on your backs. Once you get down to your back, you're gonna start with your knees bent. And we're gonna take the right foot up and we're gonna catch the ball of the right foot with the strap. And then you're gonna stretch your right leg straight. So your right leg might be more perpendicular to the ground. It might be out here at 45, okay? It doesn't really matter where it is, just hang on to it. And let's go ahead and extend the left leg straight. So if your right leg is more perpendicular to the ground, you wanna shimmy your strap up to the ball of your foot and try pulling your toes down towards your chest, okay? If, however, your leg is more out here, kind of closer to 45 degrees, you can hook the strap around your heel, okay? Let me shimmy on up. Okay, so wherever you are, wherever your leg is, can you feel your right hip bone, your right thigh bone kind of nestling into the hip socket? Maybe you feel a stretch on the back of your leg. Maybe you don't. It's okay if you don't. It's okay if you do. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to put both ends of the strap into the right hand. And we're going to take the right leg out to the right. But before we do that, where your right leg is right now, your toes are probably pointing straight towards your head. Okay, but now let's turn from the thigh bone and turn the toes out to the right. So this would be like how a duck would stand, okay? So this is external rotation of the thigh. And then we're gonna slowly start to take the right leg out to the side, any amount. Now I like to rest my right elbow on the ground to help hold my leg up. Okay, so can you feel the inner right leg lengthening and the outer right leg shortening? You might also feel a stretch in your inner thigh. Take one more breath here. And now bring that leg back up towards the ceiling. And here, I'm gonna have to scooch so I don't bop the wall. Okay, so from here, we're gonna take this in two parts. Part one, you're gonna need to hold the strap in your left hand, and we're gonna take that right leg across the body to the left, only as far as you can go while keeping this right hip on the ground. So we're not rolling any part of our body over at this point in time. Again, if it feels more restful to put your left elbow on the ground, please feel free to do that. Now, you're gonna take your hand and wedge your thumb into your hip crease and push your hip down away from your head. It might also feel like you're kind of rolling or wrapping the flesh down towards your sit bone. Okay. Then you can also play around with the position of your foot. You can try reaching the pinky toe side of your foot further away from your hip. So you're kind of sickling your ankle. Okay, one more breath here. And then we're going to go to part two. Okay, so part 2 is that we're gonna let this right hip lift up as we kind of roll into a twist. So we're gonna try to keep our shoulders where they are and just rotate the pelvis any amount. Okay, you're just seeing how far can you get that right hip away from the ground, but still keeping your shoulders down on the ground. So I could take my right leg further to the left if I really wanted to, but then my right shoulder would pop up off of the ground. And I want to keep my shoulders grounded. Take one more breath here. Okay, and then let's go ahead and ground that right hip, lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep your leg up, but take the strap off. And then to lower, you're gonna lengthen, reach out through your heel and imagine your leg is getting longer and you're growing your leg to lower it down. And then when your leg reaches the ground, relax both legs, take a full breath in and out. Feel a little lopsided, feels like your right leg's longer than your left leg. Okay, let's go ahead and do the other side. So we're gonna come back to that bent knee starting position. You're gonna get your left foot in your strap and extend your left leg up in the air. And then go ahead and extend your right leg down on the ground. So go ahead and, wrap onto the strap as much as you need to. Remember, if your leg is more perpendicular to the ground, shimmy your strap up towards the ball of your foot. But if your leg is more down at like 45, you're gonna hook onto the heel, okay? If you've got your leg more perpendicular and you have the strap around the ball of the foot, remember that you can pull the ball of the foot and the toes down towards your chest. Okay, so maybe you feel some stretch in the leg, maybe you don't. If your leg is more at 45 degrees, this might not feel quite as passive. It might feel really active to try to hold your leg up. So wherever you are, be kind to your body. Thank your body for what it is able to do today, because that's something important. Now let's take both ends of the strap over into the left hand. And then remember, before we take the leg out to the left, we're gonna change the angle of the toes. And we're doing that comes down from the thigh, okay? So you're gonna rotate your thigh so that your left foot toes point to the left, okay? Your left knee is also gonna point over to the left as well. Now, we're gonna take your left leg out to the left. And again, we don't want this right hip rolling as we take the leg out. You can rest your left hand on your left elbow on the ground if you would like. Take a nice breath here. Can you feel how the left inner leg from your groin all the way to your inner ankle, can you feel that's a lengthening side or a lengthening line? And then the outer leg from your outer ankle all the way to your outer hip, that line is getting a little shorter. Can you feel that? Okay, and now let's go ahead and pull that leg back up to center. You might have to heave-ho. So I'm gonna scooch again back towards the wall so I don't go out of frame. Okay, so from here, you're gonna take both ends of your strap into your right hand, and we're gonna take the left leg over to the right. Now remember, this is our two-part move. So as you come over to the right, you're gonna stop before you roll, okay? Don't let yourself roll over yet. Keep your left hip on the ground, and then you're gonna take your left hand into that hip crease and push the hip down away from the head. It might also feel like you're wrapping the tissue of that left hip down and under towards the sit bone. You can also play around with the foot here, sickling at the ankle so that the pinky toe side of the foot is reaching away from you more. And now from here, we can go ahead and enter into part 2. So remember that we want to keep the shoulders on the ground. So we're only going to lift that left hip and roll as far as we can while still keeping the shoulders on the ground. Taking some nice full breaths here. Great, and then let's go ahead and ground the left hip, bring the left leg back up, take the strap off, and then to lower the leg to the ground, you're gonna reach forward through the heel, growing your leg as you lower it. And then when your leg hits the ground, you notice maybe, oh, hey, it worked, and now my left leg is as long as my right leg. Take a full breath in and out. Okay, so now let's get ready to come up. So you can rock up or roll over and sit up, whatever feels well, and make your way up to standing. Put your mic pack back on if you need to. Adjust your wardrobe. Now, if balance feels like a big challenge to you, one variation that you can use to make this more accessible is to do this with your back against the wall, okay? So you're gonna get your strap again. Okay, we're gonna start balancing on the left foot, and we're gonna follow the same progression that we did on our backs, just standing up. Okay, here we go. So shift your weight into your left foot and then catch the ball of your right foot with your strap. And we're gonna extend the right leg out in front of us, any amount. Now, to make things a little bit easier for this standing position, if keeping your legs straight means that you have your leg all the way down here, I'm gonna give you a little cheater cue here, and that can be, you can keep your leg bent, okay, and try to keep your thigh as parallel to the ground as possible. So to reiterate, I'm gonna turn sideways to show, I'd rather you be here than here, okay? Rather you be here than here. And you can keep the bend in the knee throughout the whole progression. Whew, maybe I need to have my back up against the wall. Okay, so the right leg is out in front, press down through your left foot and reach out through your right foot. Okay, take a full breath in and out. Now let's switch both ends of the strap into the right hand. And from here, before we take the leg out to the right, you're gonna externally rotate your thigh so that your right foot toes point out to the right. And then take your leg out to the right. Now, as you're standing, notice how your upper body kind of wants to compensate by moving over to the left. Can you keep your torso centered? Now, let's go ahead and swing the leg back through center. Hold on with your with your left hand now. And you're gonna cross your leg just a bit in front of the body. So this is like part one of that two-part move where we kept the hip on the ground, okay? And now, instead of keeping our shoulders put, we're gonna let our shoulders move here. We're gonna let our hips be the part that is stationary and let our shoulders do the moving. So if you've been against the wall with your back against the wall, you'll need to move away from the wall a little bit, and you can hold on or steady yourself with your hand on the wall instead. And so what that would look like is I have my hand on the wall behind me, and I'm going to just turn my shoulders any amount towards the wall behind me. Great, come back to center. Now, can you keep your leg up in the air while you take your strap off? Ooh, legs are heavy, aren't they? Now go ahead and lengthen as you lower all the way down to the ground. Woo! Take a wiggle, take a shake, take a full breath in and out. Okay, let's do the other side. I believe in you. We can do it. So go ahead and shift your weight into your right foot. Take your left leg up and catch it with the strap. So remember, if you find that your leg wants to be more at 45 degrees, please go ahead and bend your knee so that your thigh can be parallel to the ground, okay? Now, here we go. Got the left leg out. We're gonna press straight down into the ground through the right foot and press straight forward through the left foot. Take a full breath in and out. Now take both ends of the strap into your left hand and angle your toes out to the left. So that's external rotation coming from the thigh. And then we're gonna take the left leg out to the left. Now, as you go, see if you can manage your torso's compensation of wanting to go out to the right. It might be helpful to take your right arm out to the right. Okay, that's always an option. Take a deep breath. Now, swing your leg back into center and hold on now with the right hand. Now, this is part one, okay? So just take your leg over to the right as far as you could go before without letting your left hip peel up away from the ground. Okay, take a breath here. And now we're gonna move the shoulders. So if you're using the wall, you can reach your hand back as you peel yourself a little bit away from the wall. And now we're gonna just turn the shoulders to the left, keeping the hips stable this time. Great, come back to center. And then can you keep your leg up and take the strap off? Whew. Go ahead and lower, lengthen as you lower all the way to the ground. Okay, you can drop your strap, maybe shake out your feet, shake out your hips. You can always make soft fists and give your outer hips a nice little pummel. Feels really good to me. You can even come down into your thighs. You can even come down into your calves. Nice, gentle pummeling here. I hope that your legs feel worked, moved, well used. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.